Hello, my name is Ale Correa and today I'll be speaking on the US News 2021 article, A Year Out, $60 million scandal, bribery scandal, felt in business and politics. So as the title suggests, the article speaks about a bribery of up to $60 million that involved a Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, to pass a legislation called House Bill 6 that would benefit two nuclear energy companies in the sector. So why was this corruption? Well, as it was mentioned before, there were bribes that were given personally to the ex-Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, and to other persons in his team that will be mentioned after, in order to pass the legislation focusing on this bailout of up to $1 billion for these two nuclear energy companies in Ohio. The entrusted power was, of course, the legislation of this energy bill, and this entrusted power was given to the representatives in the House of Representatives, and which were, of course, elected by the citizens of Ohio. And the private benefit, which of course was the bribes, which, as I mentioned, and the article does too, were up to $60 million given in different payments and in trips to the people involved. And of course, this bailout to these two private companies. So who were the ones involved? As I mentioned, it was the ex-House Speaker Larry Householder, his political advisor Jeff Longstreth, and Juan Céspedes, which was a lobbyist, and the dark money group Generation Now, which has been also accused of taking many bribes. In the case of these three actors, all have investigations going on them, and in the case of Jeff Longstreth and Juan Céspedes, they've been found guilty. Other people and other representatives were also involved. However, these haven't been found guilty, so these are not mentioned. And in the case of the two companies involved is First Energy, which is the company that is most involved, and AEP, which is a company that had some other subsidies inside this bill. So the actions that were corrupt in this situation were, of course, the bribes that caused the bill to pass and to include this bailout. It is important here to mention that not only were the bribes present, but also some other money was used through lobbying to pass the bill, and to, after the bill was passed, to stop a referendum that would take the bill out again. As we know, in the United States, lobbying is legal. However, it's important to differentiate that the bribes were done in secrecy and directly to the representatives' pockets. It is a different thing. Even though in some countries lobbying is also illegal, it is not the same as the bribes. And lastly but not least, some concepts that are important to consider from other disciplines. In the case of political science, it will be important to consider types of power, like the political and economic power that won the bailout out. $1 billion is a lot of money. And of course, the power that the representatives had over legislation that would affect citizens in the state of Ohio. From economics, the concept of money that has been repeated all along, and how it affects many different parts and kind of corrupts the representatives because of money, of course. From sociology, which studies the behavior of people, we can consider the values and the morals of the people behind these bribes, both from the receiving end and from the giving end. And lastly but not least, regarding law, we could focus on commercial law and to understand what the bailout and these different types of subsidies that are mentioned in this legislation, House Bill 6, that was passed and then repealed, mean, and to really understand the article. And that's about everything. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a great day.